Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Wednesday night. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, it is time for our top 10 matchup. LSU Tigers, go Tigers, Shauna Ogeron versus the Clemson Tigers matchup we got this Saturday night. 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Don't make plans Saturday night. If your girlfriend's asking you to do something, you're either going to have to tell her no or break up with her. If your buddies are asking you, hey, let's go do something, nah. You gotta cancel all plans. You can't consider yourself a college football fan if you miss this game. This is gonna be awesome for numerous reasons. I'd say the main one is we're gonna find out a lot about the LSU Tigers and a lot about the Clemson Tigers. Is Clemson overhyped? Is LSU underhyped? There's one thing for sure, we're going to find out. This game is so important, it is the one and only game we're going to be previewing / predicting in this video. So get your snack, get your popcorn, lock in, because we're getting straight into it. Before we go any further, let me pull up this game. I have no idea what the line is. I'm going to assume Clemson is the favorite. Oh, got it right here. Yep, Clemson -3.5. This is a road game for LSU. I keep wanting to say the Tigers, but let me remind some of y'all, they're both the Tigers, so I actually have to call them either LSU or Clemson in this video. Do I think LSU being on the road matters? Yeah, a little bit. I'm not going to label Clemson as a hostile environment because I don't believe it is, but it's not an easy place to win at. I've personally always have thought that Clemson's quote-unquote home field advantage has always been overrated and overhyped. I don't think it's that difficult. Case in example, South Kakalaki went in there and beat you. South Kakalaki, and I believe Louisville beat them last year as well. Look, I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. You can't tell me you got a serious home field advantage when you lose at home to Louisville and you lose at home to South Kakalaki. And here's the fun thing about it. The Louisville game wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive, but that's neither here or there. All that's in the past. It's a new season, and their star quarterback, Klubnik, he's returning. But also for LSU, their star quarterback, Nussmeier's returning. Who's got the better quarterback in this game? Let me know in the comments. I think they're close to 1A, 1B. I've never been high on Klubnik. I think he struggles to read defense. He's not an extremely accurate quarterback. Doesn't have the greatest arm I've ever seen. But my dilemma with Nussmeier is, yeah, he throws a pretty ball, but good gosh almighty, he makes terrible, and I'm talking about some terrible decisions at times. Nussmeier doesn't care. He'll throw the ball in harm's way, for better or for worse. And when he's on and his receivers are making great plays, oh yeah, it looks marvelous. But when he's off, it looks bad, and he can cost you a game or two. The thing I like about Klubnik is he's not as risky as Nussmeier, at least in my opinion. Case in example, last year Klubnik had over 3,500 passing yards, 36 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Nussmeier last year, yeah, he had 4,000 passing yards, that's great, 29 touchdowns, but he had 12 interceptions, so he doubled up Klubnik. That's going to be something to pay attention to, and that is one of the X factors for both teams. It's kind of a cliche and corny thing people talk about when they do preview and predictions. Even I do it myself. Whoever has the better quarterback in this game, or a better way of saying it, my apologies, whichever quarterback performs better, that's going to be the team that wins. We'll come back to that in just a second. As far as it goes for talent, Clemson, they're returning some key pieces, but so is LSU. And I really think both of these teams, when you look at it from top to bottom, they're even. I would say for sure, Clemson has a much better defense. LSU really struggled on the defense side of the ball last year. But here's the kicker with that. LSU, at least in my humble opinion, they have the much better offense compared to Clemson. Who has the better head coach? I think everybody's going to be quick to say, oh yes, Dabo Swinney, multiple championships. But may I remind some of y'all, Dabo Swinney, you know what my nickname for him is? Dabo the Dinosaur. He's washed up. He has failed to adapt. And I'm not even a Brian Kelly guy, but I'm not certain that Dabo is a better head coach currently than Kelly. This is the most unbiased opinion you're ever going to get. I'm not a big Dabo guy, and I'm not a big Brian Kelly guy either, so I think that's a draw. The quarterback play comes down to this. I know which version of Cade Klubnik I'm going to see, but am I going to get the good Nussmeier or the bad Nussmeier? Whenever I do these previews and predictions, I like to do 3 keys for each team. We'll start with LSU first. Number 1, since we just talked about him, we'll piggyback off of it. Nussmeier, please, and I'm begging you for your sake and LSU fans' sake, take care of the football. You don't got to go out here and throw for 6,000 yards, 24 touchdowns in one game. Take care of the ball, hit your checkdowns, throw the ball out of bounds if you have to. Don't force things. He is very bad at trying to force it, or he was last year. Hopefully in this offseason he has grown. He's matured. He watched some film, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to live to see another play, live to see another down. The worst thing you can do in this game, if Clemson jumps out to an early 7-0 lead, Nussmeier feels like he's got to match Cade Klubnik. He throws one up, gets picked off. Next thing you know, Clemson's up 17-0, and more than likely, the game's already over. But I got to go back to this. I think why Nussmeier did that last year is because he felt like he had to because the defense played so poorly at times. So with that being said, I think Nussmeier will gain a little bit of confidence if the defense goes out there and can pitch a shutout in the first quarter or maybe just stop Clemson on the first couple of drives. All in all, take care of the ball. That's number one. Number two. Going over to the defensive side of the ball, LSU, I'm not saying you got to hold Clemson to 10, 13 points. They're going to get some chunk plays, but can you have the bend but not break mentality? You can give up a 60-yard drive, hold them to a field goal, that's fine. But don't give up 7 after 7 after 7 after 7. That's not going to win you the game. I don't expect LSU's defense to be great. They just need to be average. That'll keep them in this game. Say it with me now, bend but not break. Number 3, Cade Klubnik is not a great quarterback when you apply pressure. However, if you let him sit back there, you only send 3, 4, or 5, and the O-line for Clemson, they hold up, he will pick you apart. He's that good when he has time. He tends to make mistakes when he doesn't have time. You make him scramble out of the pocket. Long story short, you make them uncomfortable. If I'm LSU's defensive coordinator, I will be dialing up the blitzes early on, and you need to get them behind the sticks. I think it's a simple game plan for LSU. Play good defense and take care of the ball. Let's talk about Clemson a little bit. Key number 1, don't let one man beat you. Who's the one man I'm referring to? Nussmeier. I've watched enough Nussmeier to know he can go out there and throw for 500 yards like it's nothing. I think many people forget his performance in the SEC Championship against Georgia 2 years ago. That was insane. We don't talk about it because LSU lost that game, but he was dicing up one of the best defenses we've seen in the past 10 years. In other terms, what am I saying? I don't know if I've ever said this on the channel, but I would dare LSU to run the ball and continue to make them run the ball. You don't want to test Nussmeier. I'd have at least one safety over the top at all times, if not 2. Don't give him the big plays because if he hits the big plays, the 80, 70, 60-yard touchdown passes, he'll gain confidence. And if he gains confidence, he's like a sharpshooter. He's not going to miss. Where you can start to get in his head is if you have 2 safeties over the top or you drop and cover 4 the entire game and make him throw 5 to 10-yard passes throughout the entire game. That's where he struggles the most because he's not patient. Make him dink and dime his way down the field. If he does so and wins the game, you clap it up to him. You say, yep, he was better than us, he outdueled us, but that's not going to happen because eventually he's going to get tired of throwing those 5-yard passes and he's going to force one, and that's when you pick it off and take it to the house for a pick 6. Keep everything in front of you. Don't give up anything over the top. LSU wants to hit the home run. Key number 2 for Tigers. On the offensive side of the ball, you know how I just said you're going to force LSU to run the ball? Well, guess what you're going to do? You're going to run the ball, run it some more, run it some more, run it some more. When you get tired of running it and you're in your living room going, man, I wish we could pass. No, you're going to keep running it. And Timothy and Bobby are going to go, Dabo, can we pass? No, we're not passing. We're going to run, and run. Did you see what Alabama did? By the way, Alabama wasn't that good last year. Did you see what Alabama did to the LSU defense last year on the ground? LSU, not a good run-stopping team. Clemson has always been decent at running the ball. Some may say good, some may say really good. Well, just run it. I'm telling you, you keep pounding LSU, they're not going to stop you. But I think Dabo will abandon the run early on, which will be a mistake. I hope he does, and I think that's the key to keep running it, but we'll see. Number 3, and this goes back to how Clemson looked last year. I would love to see, if I were a Clemson fan, which I'm not, but for Clemson fans, I'd love to see Dabo Swinney finally take it to someone. And here's what I'm talking about. Ever since he's won those championships, he's been laid back and they've let other teams attack them. I would like to see Clemson be the aggressor and attack LSU early on. I'd like to see some trick plays. I'd like to see some big shots early on. Stuff like that. Heck, man, I'd like to see a fake punt, a fake field goal, something like that. Get some energy for this team. Clemson has lacked energy the past couple of years, ever since the DJ Oogbadoogie days. Clemson offense has been so boring and mundane for years now, even with Cade Klubnik. They just need a spark. I don't know what that spark will be in this game, but they need something. And here's what I'm saying. I would like to see the play caller to be You ain't got to be a lot of it, but a little bit more aggressive than last year. Let's see some flea flickers. Let's see a wide receiver reverse. Stuff like that. You have got to take it to LSU. Don't sit back and let them dictate what you do. You dictate what LSU does. You hear me? Those are my 3 keys for Clemson. It goes without being said, this is an extremely big game for Dabo Swinney. And some may say more importantly for Brian Kelly and his legacy. I believe, unless I'm highly mistaken, LSU has lost the last 5 season openers. Let me say that again. LSU has lost 5 straight season openers. Not even just the players and the coaching staff, but the fans. They need this. They're tired of losing the first game of the season. LSU fans aren't sold on Brian Kelly, and you better believe if he loses this one, even if it's in heartbreaking fashion, they're going to be calling for his job. But if they win it, I think all the fans, their mood would change. Even if you finish a year like 9-3, 10-2, they'll at least be content. But losing season opener, never a good sign. I wouldn't go so far as saying that Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. Speaking of hot seat, Dabo Swinney's not on the hot seat either, because if you're Clemson, you can't fire him. But I'm going to tell you this much. Clemson fans are starting to get a little aggravated and annoyed with Dabo Swinney and his antics, and they're not dumb. They're hip to it. They know the only reason they made the playoff last year is because they played in the sorry and soggy ACC, and they know they're not as good as the SEC teams. Heck, they went 0-3 against the SEC last year. And it's not even like, oh, they lost 3 games to the SEC last year. They got embarrassed in all of them. It's embarrassing to lose at home to South Kakalaki, with all due respect. It's embarrassing to lose to Georgia by 30. And it's embarrassing to lose in the playoff by double digits. I don't care how you chop it or dice it up. As much as Big Ten fans and college football fans outside the SEC are sick and tired of hearing about how great the SEC is, I can guarantee you this, nobody's more sick and tired of the SEC than Clemson fans. They went 0-3 against them last year. At least the Big Ten can say, oh yeah, well, we outperformed the SEC last year. There's an argument there. But Clemson, they can't even do it. They just got to sit there and take it from all these obnoxious SEC fans. To go back to Dabo, his job's not on the line, so let's not talk crazy. It's more so the state of that program and the state of the fan base is going to heat up drastically if he loses another one to the SEC. And this is a game that Clemson is supposed to win. They're favored. Losing to Georgia's whatever. You weren't supposed to win that one. Same thing for Texas. But losing to LSU when you're supposed to win, different story. Believe it or not, I know LSU's lost 5 straight season openers. I think Clemson needs to win this game more than LSU. You got to think about it. ACC's garbage. You don't have a lot of opportunities. LSU's going to have plenty of opportunities all throughout this season. So even if you lose a game by 3 points, year's not over with, and the fans, they're going to be upset right away, but they'll get over it if you do good the remainder of the season. For me, though, when it comes to picking this game, I think Clemson is the smart pick. I do. I've thought that all week, and it's hard to pick against them. But something in my gut has been telling me all week long when I think about this game, I got to go with the LSU Tigers. And I really don't have a great explanation for it outside of it's a gut feeling, and you got to go with your gut. You got to. But I also go to this. I can't get over the fact that Dabo Swinney is a dinosaur. That concerns me, and I haven't given up on Brian Kelly just quite yet. I think he's hungry and he has something to prove, and you don't want to go up against a man in his life when his back is against the wall. I think Brian Kelly and LSU, they get this one done. I'm going to take the LSU Tigers 28, Clemson 25. Many more things I can say. We're going to end it off here. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. But